This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, your world leader in optics since 1917. Welcome to this week's episode of Nikon's Birding Adventures TV. This week we're in the bird-rich country of Honduras, where almost 800 species of bird have been recorded. If we compare this to the contiguous United States, which is an area more than 70 times the size of Honduras, we have almost the same amount of birds in each region. So Honduras is roughly the size of the state of Tennessee, and there are almost 800 different species of birds. Almost 80% of the whole of Honduras is covered by mountains. This week we're going to cover some of the very best birding sites in Honduras, where we go in quest of our golden bird for this episode, the Keel-billed Motmot. Let's go birding! Majestic jaguars and diminutive margays roam vast, pristine tropical rainforests amongst lost cities and Mayan ruins. Immense forested mountains rise from sea level to 8,000 feet. Expansive mangroves are home to countless waterbirds, monkeys, and manatees. Here is a tropical paradise of crystalline rivers, expansive beaches, and the most pristine coral reefs in the Americas. All of this and nearly 750 spectacular bird species make the country of Honduras one of the most scenic and sought-after birding destinations in all of Central America. Long awaiting discovery by the world's tropical birders, today this Central American country of little more than 43,000 square miles enjoys a steadily increasing aviatourism presence. Honduras boasts more than 8,500 square miles of protected areas and national parks, and the hope is that through aviatourism this number can be sustained or even grown in the future. The approximately 750 bird species in Honduras range from the magnificent electric blue lovely cotinga to the massive and regal harpy eagle, and to the diminutive and endemic Honduran emerald. With over 70 raptor species, over 40 hummingbird species, 8 trogons, and 7 motmots, this country has some of the most charismatic birds waiting to be discovered by visiting birders. The Honduras Birding for Conservation Tour has been designed to further the growth in aviatourism and the protection of Honduran birds and their habitat. The world's biggest leaders in bird watching and bird conservation and local Honduran bird guides lead groups of enthusiastic participants in a relaxed birding tour to reveal some of the best birding that Honduras has to offer. We got to spend some time with two of the very best guides in Honduras, William Oriana and Oblin Bejarano.
Welcome to the Honduran Emerald Reserve, the only endemic bird we have in Honduras. Sometimes people come here and don't get to see this hummingbird, maybe because the weather or because other things, but we had really great views. Usually the Honduran emerald, he likes to go from flower to flower around these bushes. He always look for a perch around his food. For us as Hondurans, we feel very proud of having this hummingbird.
When you see an endemic for the first time, obviously a new bird for me as well. It's a cool bird, really nice, and to see it so closely, to see it feeding, see it perch, wing stretching, you know, the whole lot, it's a treat. And that's a very special day for all of us really to get the only endemic of the country. So really exciting, it's a great area. We're a very happy bunch. All over the world we see habitat being reduced to little pockets. Once we realise how we're screwing up the planet, how we're screwing up the world, the habitats, reducing species, and these small reservoirs of wildlife and habitat are the future.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917. And by Honduras. We're all about you. And by Hobie Mirage Drive Kayaks. Enjoy nature effortlessly. We're at the beautiful Rio Santiago in northwest Honduras, and I'm here with the owner of this place, Terry Habdis, and it is a mecca for hummingbirds. 28 different species of hummingbirds have been recorded here. And it's not only good for hummingbirds, but it also has an excellent network of trails here where you can go birding in the forest around the lodge. Tell me, how many hummingbird feeders do you have? I'm looking at all of these over here and you've got quite a number around here.
Yeah, we got about 170 up right now, I think. We have at times up to 250.
Wow, and how much sugar do you go through?
Yeah, in June and July, we'll go through as much as 500 pounds a month.
500 pounds of sugar. Well, that's a lot of sugar to keep all these amazing hummingbirds happy. Let's go check it out and see how many hummingbirds we can find this morning. Well, we're seeing at least 8 species right here. We've got violet saberwings, big violet saberwings, lots of rufous-tailed hummingbirds everywhere. A very characteristic species with a nice rufous tail. Violet-crowned wood nymph. Beautiful, bright green, this metallic green on the breast.
This bird is my favorite bird in this country.
Oh, it is?
Yes, it is.
Is that scaly-breasted hummingbird?
Yes, it's a scaly-breasted hummingbird. Look at the open tail and 2 white tips in the tail. I mean, it's big, almost like a violet saberwing.
This is a very big hummingbird, but it's a specialty bird for this part of Honduras, the scaly-breasted hummingbird. It's also a very, very nondescript hummingbird. Very large, no really vibrant colors on it.
Look at that. This is the beautiful long-billed hermit as well. You can see the beautiful
Lovely.
long-billed.
Long-billed hermit. And it's amazing coming here and watching all these different types of hummingbirds battle for survival, and they've all got different strategies. The hermits are what are called trap liners, so they'll visit different flowers periodically along a very well-defined route. And then you've got the larger hummingbirds, which are big bullies, and they'll protect their source of nectar, chasing away all the smaller species. And then you've got other hummingbirds like the wood nymphs, which are much smaller, and they'll come in and they'll steal food when one of those larger hummingbirds is not guarding a feeder. So very, very territorial and very aggressive, these little birds. Very, very fast heart rates, and these little denizens of the forest around us here are just in spectacular colors and spectacular numbers right here at Rio Santiago. Honduras is not only well known for its birds, but its wide variety of cats that are found in the forests. Cats like jaguar, puma, jaguarundi, ocelot, and a small arboreal cat called the margay. And here at Rio Santiago, we've been very fortunate to come across a semi-wild margay called Santiago. One of the locals found Santiago when she was a tiny little kitten, and apparently dogs chased off the mother with another kitten, and this one remained behind, and it was very small when it was brought to Terry at Rio Santiago. And he brought up this little kitten, and now it's free to go wild. So it's actually a wild margay, but occasionally it comes back to the lodge. And we were very lucky to be there when Santiago paid a visit back to the lodge. But I can tell you something, this cat is still totally wild, but it is such a beautiful cat to watch it in the trees and watch the way that it's able to turn its feet backwards and climb upside down with these strong, strong claws. Really is a spectacular cat, and a cat that you'll never really get the chance to see in the wild. Very few people have seen this cat in the wild, so to see a semi-wild one here at Rio Santiago was very, very special. Margays aren't the only cats found here. Important research is being done at Pico Bonito and in other areas of Honduras on the feline diversity of this cat-rich country.
The jaguar corridor is an attempt to maintain genetic continuity of the jaguar throughout its entire existing range from Mexico through Argentina. The biggest threat is fragmentation. Are small populations that become isolated and can no longer interbreed with one another. That's the path to extinction. In many cases, we're too late already. With the jaguar, we're not. The jaguar can maintain genetic continuity, but we have to figure out where those connections are. Where outside of their protected areas, their source sites, can jaguars move and sneak through the environment, the human landscape, near people, away from people, and get to the next area where young males or young females can breed in new populations. This is an area where jaguars move through the Honduras western corridor in order to get to the next protected area where they can live.
This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917, and by the Lodge at Pico Bonito, Honduras Rainforest Eco Lodge and Spa, and sponsored in part by Manfrotto, complete solutions for photographers and videographers. Visit manfrotto.us, and by Pelagic Polarized Sunglasses. We've got a Prevost ground sparrow. He's in the pineapple fields right now. This is our fourth time here today looking for the bird. We heard it calling at about midday in the cemetery at the top. This is one of the few sites in Honduras that you can actually get this bird. So really, really lucky that we got at least a brief visual on him in the pineapple fields. Good job, good job. Tell you something, that was a beautiful sparrow. And at least we don't have to go back to the creepy cemetery. This afternoon we're heading off to Cuero, Salado. It's a wonderful mangrove estuary for boat-billed herons and other water birds. Let's go birding. We're now taking the boat to Cuero Salado Wildlife Refuge. Going to be some great mangrove birding. Vámonos. This is a nice little colony of long-nosed bats sitting on the sign, and they perch close to the water here because of the insects. So this is a really good spot for them at night when they come out to forage to get all the insects that live in these mangrove swamps. Now there are over 70 species of bats in Honduras, and this little bat here is one of the smallest. We're sitting in these fascinating mangroves, and we've got an incredible American pygmy kingfisher sitting in a branch right next to us here. There's howler monkeys calling in the distance. Quite an eerie feeling here, these quiet backwaters of these mangroves. And this tiny kingfisher is one of the target species of Central America. It's the smallest of the American kingfishers, the American pygmy kingfisher. But this is a great little bird, and what a fantastic environment to see it in. The highlight of the boat trip is undoubtedly the colony of boat-billed herons that reside in the mangrove swamps here. Now these boat-billed herons are not only interesting because of the size of their bill and the shape of their bill, which gives them their name, but they're also very unique birds because it was once believed that they were very closely related to black-crowned night herons, but it's now believed through DNA analysis that there are no herons that are closely related to it at all. And for that reason, it's placed within its own family. Boat-billed herons will come out at night, like black-crowned night herons, and they'll feed on crabs and fish and frogs and even rodents in these mangrove swamps. An absolutely fascinating bird with that giant bill, the boat-billed heron. These mangrove swamps are also good for a whole variety of other herons. There have been sightings of a gami heron here, which is a very highly sought-after species in Central America. We've seen bare-throated tiger heron today, and there's a whole bunch of other herons as well, like little blue herons, white ibis here. So it really is a fantastic place to go birding. This Birding Adventures episode is powered by Nikon, the world leader in optics since 1917, and by the Honduras Birding for Conservation Tour. There are just over a dozen species of Motmots worldwide. In Honduras, you can find 7 Motmot species. We've seen Lessons Motmot, and we've seen turquoise-browed Motmot with this beautiful turquoise brow, and then the very small toady Motmot. And now we're headed off to look for our golden bird for this episode, the Keel-billed Motmot. One of the best locations to try and find Keel-billed Motmot is Pico Bonito National Park. And Albion's with us this morning. We're going to head out on this loop trail, which is a really long, very steep trail, and we're going to have to get to some higher elevation to try for this amazing bird. What's the best way to get it is to play the call, obviously, huh?
So in few meters over here we're going to try to play this Kil-billed Motmot, because as you can see this is a very healthy forest. So Kil-billed Motmot prefer very healthy forest like this. So we're going to try in few minutes over there.
What does the call sound like?
It's like a pow, pow, pow. It's beautiful sound.
So it sounds not like a normal Motmot, like a not like that, it's more...
No, this Motmot have a specific sound, and it's the only Motmot well with broad-billed Motmot that have different sound to the another species. That's why it's like a pow, pow.
So it's a more nasal sound.
Yes, almost
Okay.
like a cat.
Okay.
Yes.
This is a very tough Motmot to get. It's arguably the hardest of all the Motmot species to find, and the best place on the planet to see it is in Honduras. But the birds are sometimes around, they're sometimes not, and we've been trying now for probably about 2 hours, and we're going to try further higher up.
Right, it's calling. It's the Kil-billed Motmot.
Yes.
It's responding. Absolutely. Let's move to here.
We've heard this Keel-billed Motmot has answered us, but it's very high up, which is quite uncharacteristic. They normally sit sort of mid-canopy, but this one's
right at the top. We can't even see it. We can just hear it for now. You see, look right up that main trunk. Go up the main trunk, and then off to the left there's like a little vine.
I think 2 Motmots.
You think there's another one?
Yes, because one is calling here and another one there. I think it's 2
We
Motmots.
might have 2 Motmots calling. We're gonna try for the other one because this one's just flown. I did get a little bit of footage, but it was quite high up and not the best light. So we're gonna try for the other one now. It's basically eye level, look. It's right eye level with us. Look at this, I've got great views of Keel-billed Motmot straight ahead of us, eye level. Look at that bill, you can see that broad bill, which gives it its name. And this is arguably the hardest Motmot to find in all of Central America. Yes, our golden bird for this episode, the Keel-billed Motmot. Only in Pico Benito National Park.